A former Smith County fire marshal is decorating her home for the holidays with a creative twist. Our Michael Richardson reports that she hopes that her yard brings joy to the community.
A candy cane, that's made out of PVC. A gingerbread home, that one's made of plywood. And this frosty family, they're created with shutters. And there's a whole lot more decorations in front of Connie McCoy-Wasson's home in Troup.
I started buying sheets of plywood and bringing them home and started just getting these ideas or seeing ideas.
The former Smith County fire marshal has filled her front yard with dozens of holiday decorations she's made over the last few years, including a sleigh that would impress Santa.
I'd always dreamed of being able to build a sleigh, Santa sleigh, but I wanted it life-size.
One of the new additions this year is a Christmas card.
It says, people like you are the reason for the holidays, you know, to make the holidays shine.
She created that to thank her neighbors.
They drive their little golf carts through here and they stop and let the grandkids look.
At night, the decorations light up to bring smiles to the community.
I think it says a lot to never stop. To follow your passion, do what you love, and other people will benefit from it.
McCoy-Wasson says she wants to add more creations in the future for the neighborhood and her family to enjoy.
Sometimes they say, Nani, you don't have any place to put anything else. I said, oh, I'll find a spot.
Michael Richardson, East Texas News Weekend.
McCoy-Wasson says that she begins putting up the decorations after Halloween. Takes about 2 weeks to get them ready.